I was as shocked as just about anybody there. Our final poll before the election shows Kamala Harris winning 47 to 44 over former President Donald Trump. Well, this is the first time that we've had Kamala Harris in the lead, so that by itself was a shock. We polled in September, and she had closed a gap from our previous poll when Joe Biden was on the ticket by 14 points. So Donald Trump had been leading by 18 points in June, and then Trump leading by just 4 points in September. So this is really almost a linear continuation of that trend, which had Kamala Harris leapfrogging over Trump into the lead.
So there's a bunch of new polling showing that Iowa is trending towards Kamala Harris. I'm wondering, what are your thoughts about that?
Good. I'm glad. I want her to win.
Are you surprised?
A little bit, because it's mostly Republicans in Iowa. There are a big amount of people here are Republicans.
Well, is it possible that Republicans are leaning towards away from Trump?
I hope so. If they listen to anything, they should know he's full of, you know what?
One of the things we found in September, and it remains in place now, is that the number of people in our poll who qualified as a likely voter, that is, they've already voted or they say they will definitely vote in the future, increased. And that increase was among demographic groups favorable to Democrats generally, Kamala Harris specifically. So women and younger people and those with a college education, there are probably a couple more groups in there. And then we see the same things happening here with particular note to women who are voting for Harris in large numbers. And that's driven by a big gap with women age 65 and over. It's more than a 2-to-1 ratio, not even close among women 65 and over.
There's a new poll that came out that showed that Kamala Harris is getting a lot more support in Iowa. Is that something that you've noticed in your own life?
No, I have not. I have not noticed. I've seen signs, you know, in people's yards, but I find that interesting. We're typically a red state, and Iowa typically has a lot of people with common sense and core beliefs, values, and ethics. And we tend to lead toward the Republican side, and we tend to be pro-life. I hope that's not the case, but I have heard that too, that some polls may be showing that.
Yeah, a little bit. For the women, I think they probably favor more Harris than Trump, because Trump's outspoken and they don't like that. Yeah, he says it the way it is. That's what I figure.
You are insightful. Yeah, if you.
I think more than anything else is the character of the man, and he has no character.
Okay, so you are going to be voting for Kamala Harris?
I already did.
You did, okay, thank you.
So we've seen swingy things happen before, but this, if these data hold true, I have to hope that my poll looks good. This would be one of the swingiest elections we've had here in a while.
And if he gets in there, there'll be no Social Security in that for us. He'll get rid of it. He'll lower it or something, and people are going to have to go to work. And all these Republicans that said, oh, no, 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 they'll either listen to Fox News or TikTok, because they're not really getting into the problem with, you know, he doesn't make any sense when he talks. She makes sense. She wants to help the middle class.
If this turns out, I mean, this has been a shock to the political system, and it shows up in my inbox. I've got, I don't know, 40,000 more Twitter X followers than I had 2 days ago. So everything is kind of shaking right now. We'll just see what happens. The thing is that my methodology differs significantly from most other polls. So I call my method polling forward. That is, I want my data to reveal to me, without my dirty fingers on the data, what the future electorate looks like. A lot, maybe most other pollsters are using data from the past to predict what the electorate in the future will look like. I call it polling backward because they're assuming that the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. The Selzer caveat to that is until there's change. And this election cycle is loaded with change after change after change after change. So I wouldn't dare to assume that this future electorate looks identical to the past. I'm very conscious that something could happen later this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, that would change the shape of the election. We've seen it happen already. We've seen big things, seismic things happen that change the shape of the election. The best estimate is the numbers that we report, that it is 47 to 44. And people who want to say, well, that's within the margin of error because he could be higher and she could be lower. And I say, okay, fine, but margins of error work both ways. So if you want to say it could be tied, you need to say it is also equally likely the margin is even wider than we're showing. So I just say the best estimate, 47-44.